Hey everybody, welcome to what's likely to be my last mileage update video before I hit 1,000,000 miles in this thing. 2003 Honda Accord, original owner, original engine. This is the highest mileage Honda V6 in the world. So let's start out with the mileage update here. There we go, 948, 494. So almost 950 for my update. All right, if you want to see the car really clean, you can check out the video about the Accord Mafia meetup. Got the car looking pretty good for that. So doing a lot of suspension work on this right now. There's been a couple times throughout the ownership of the car that I've had to, replace quite a few things at one time. I'm pretty much rebuilding the entire front suspension. So I'll show you why here. This is the lower ball joint. This is a Moog brand lower ball joint, and I'm not a Moog hater in general, but for the Accords, these things are garbage for the design and everything. If you can tell, the outside has these little ribs on here. All right, this is an OEM ball joint, which this is the only thing that I would recommend running in these cars. So had a shop replace the ball joints the first time. They put Moogs in there. They only lasted for maybe 30,000 miles, started making a bunch of noise again, took it back. They replaced it under warranty, ran them again, same thing, didn't get many miles out of them, went bad again. So I told them I'm just gonna go ahead and replace them that time myself, and I put the OEMs in there. So my OEM ball joints that I had replaced them with got, probably about 250,000 miles on them or something like that. But the problem is, here's a knuckle that I had to buy. The reason is where the ball joint goes right here, the Moog ball joint with the ribs in there had kind of wallered out or ate out that hole. And so on the driver's side of the car was making a big clunking sound, and what was actually happening is this had worked loose and was actually coming up and down like that and slamming against that. Like when I would change directions or low speed trying to make turns, it would just clunk really badly. So I ended up having to buy got these knuckles from a salvage Accord. I think it had about 150,000 miles on it. So if you get into the suspension work on these, the knuckle, this whole piece here, is all the same for all the Accords. Doesn't matter, 4-cylinder V6, auto, manual transmission, whatever. But the part that's different on these is the hub here. Okay, I had to drive it out. Here's my original one. Drove it out, you can see the wheel bearings there. Not bad for almost 1,000,000 miles on them. Those have never been changed. Those are original to the car. All right, so I had to punch that hub out. Just put a socket on there that's about as big as the part here, the face of it, and then a few good taps and you can drive it out. So that's why I got all this junk wood over here, because I was doing that earlier. So yeah, less than happy with the situation because of the Moogs, but I'll get it resolved by putting the OEMs in there. So I haven't worked on this one yet, obviously, but I'll put my V6 hub on there and the new ball joint. So done that. Lower control arms, I've done the passenger side, so this is the one for the driver's side. So the compliance bushing here, right here, you can see it's tore. So ended up replacing that. All right, so new control arm over here, new brakes, power stop brakes. I got the power stop Z26 brakes. That's what I put on here the last time. I got over 350,000 miles out of them. So here's what my pads look like. These are the front pads. So really wore down. It was definitely time. Wasn't grinding just quite yet, but probably wasn't far from it. You can see the warning sensor right there. So put the new ones on this passenger side already. All right, so did that. I also have the rear brakes to go on, and then I've got a couple transmission mounts. There's one of them. There's the other one. this one in the car is broke right now. It's actually separated. So I'm getting ready to tear apart this side over here. But you see right there where it's separated, that line. So that's one of the transmission mounts. There's the other one right there. So that'll be something extra to do on this side. But yeah, the Moog lower ball joints kind of did a number on this thing. I'm gonna replace the end links too. So pretty much rebuilt the entire suspension on it. The struts were replaced not too long ago, so they're new. So because this is the 950,000 mile update, the big significant event that happened between my 900,000 mile update and this one is that I'm actually running on 5 cylinders now. Cylinder number 1, which on the J30 over here in the back, cylinder 1 has no compression. The car sounds like a diesel right now. You can hear that in my misfire video. So I took it to the shop. They did a leak down test. They said it's the exhaust valve, and so I thought about pulling the heads and putting rebuilt heads on there, but my mechanic Jamie was concerned that if I did that, that restoring the compression might end up causing problems with the rings on the engine. And since we're so close to 1 million miles, I didn't want to take any chances or anything like that. So plan right now is to go ahead and run this the rest of the way to 1 million. The bad misfire problem started happening around 920,000. So I've driven around 30,000 miles on it on 5 cylinders. So it's got a definite reduction in power, a little bit of reduction in fuel mileage, fuel economy, probably about 2 to 2.5 miles per gallon less than normal, and then just weak. Honda, wasn't meant to run on 5 cylinders. And then the other thing I did this time, you can see down there is the clutch master cylinder. The car was getting really hard to shift. The transmission fluid's not terribly old in this, so I had not too long ago replaced the clutch master cylinder up here with an OEM unit. The one down here was a parts store one, and my clutch has over 600,000 miles on it, so it's really, really firm. And I think that the other slave cylinders couldn't handle it. So I put an OEM one in here and bled it out last night, and it looks like it's working a whole lot better. Won't know completely till I drive it pretty soon, but looks like it's working pretty well. Okay, so it is October 1st of 22. South Texas still hasn't let go of winter just quite yet. It's like 90 degrees here, so that's why I'm not on camera, because I'm a sweaty mess right now. But anyhow, 948,000 miles. I'm anticipating hitting 1 million probably somewhere around Memorial Day of next year, 2023. So maybe about 8 months or so, given how I've been driving it. I'm not driving quite as much as I was the last couple years when I had my delivery route all the time, but I'm still doing some stuff. So anticipating somewhere around Memorial Day, we'll have a 1 million mile meetup with friends. And then after that, I'll bring the car home, and then the plan is to pull the engine. I'm going to replace the clutch and then put in a different engine. Whether I get a low mileage used one or go with a reman, I don't know. Remanufactured, it's probably going to cost me about $5,000. I'm not going to let this engine go back to get rebuilt, since this engine's literally going to be a record holder for Honda. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it unless Honda wants it. But I'm not going to send it back as a core to get rebuilt just because of what it's achieved. So whether I get a used one or a new one, I don't know. Make that decision later. But I'm going to do that. I'll put a new clutch in it. If I get a used engine, I'm going to try to do everything, refresh it while the engine's out on a stand, as far as like the oil pump seal, and then new timing belt, front rear main seals, things like that. Things that are a real pain in the butt to do while the engine's in the car. So that's the plan. So we'll see what the next few months hold for the car. But other than that, holding up well. Still looks good. Got this side repainted because of the accident I had last year. So doors all repainted and everything. Next thing I'm going to do after the repairs today, I'm going to end up putting 18-inch wheels on it. My speedometer's off by about 2 miles an hour, and so if I put a little bit bigger tire on there, that's going to fix that, and it'll fill the wheel wells up a little bit better. So plans to put 18s on it very soon, probably next 2-3 months or so. So all right, so that's it. appreciate you watching the video, and I'll try to have some other stuff along here in a few weeks. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.